So I thought the next video I'd do would be the, as promised, one where I read, the letters that I wrote. I've got to see about getting the rest of the letters. I've still got my fidget. I've got to see about getting the rest of the letters from, like, the ones that I was sent from Jay, my ex-father, who hopefully does not find these videos before I can get that from him. So I'll probably text him after this and see if he's willing to send it. So yeah. Fair warning, just to give you an example of my writing in these letters. And you see this. It's a mess. And it's hard to read. And I did not have great handwriting back then, and also it's over the phone, so it's very hard to zoom in correctly, so it's going to be a little bit interesting for me to read them. I have to figure out how to turn off my screen lock. Where's my screen lock? Dude, just tell me how to make my screen move. I don't like my phone. See if that worked. Oh, this will be fun. So these are going to be a little bit hard to read, but I will read what the heading is, the actual letter, and all of it. So, the first is who it's to, which I wrote out Rose's name and her email address. Then the date was June 20th in 2017. My full name, my team, which was Charlie. There was also, Alpha, which is a Alpha younger girls group. Beta, younger boys group. Foxtrot, younger girls group. Charlie, my group, which was an older girls group. After Charlie, Delta and Echo were both older boys groups. Either that or it was, Bravo was the younger, or either that or it might have been Bravo. Yeah, Bravo was the older boys group, as was Echo, and Delta was the younger boys group. After that, I'm not sure. There was a mythical group called Wombo or something that was, supposedly a group for, like, elderly people, which we always joke that we ran into at one point, but basically I want to get these letters read. So, team name, therapist name, Ashley, and instructors, I have Britta and Devora written down. So, here we go. This was my very first letter. It could be a while before you get this, but I need to come home. This place is amping up all of my negative emotions. I haven't needed to cry in years, and this place is breaking me down piece by piece. They won't even let me call you. This is not the adventure camp described. We were staying in a cramped cabin, and since I'm new, I have to sleep on the floor, with a tarp wrapped around me. I had to pretend to use the restroom last night because I couldn't move my feet and had a panic attack. They wouldn't let me have Libby either, so I couldn't sleep, and when I got upset, instead of please give me some peace and quiet like I asked, the counselor wouldn't stop talking, so I just got more upset, which there was at one point a counselor that, or a staff member rather, at this point I'm still thinking of it as a camp. At one point there was a staff member who was trying to help, and she just would not leave me alone. So finally she became the first person that I ever seriously told to fuck off. They require you to basically chug 900 milliliters 3 times a day, and it really hurts. If I don't do it, we all get in trouble. Before I got here, I was starting to get better. I used coping skills and trusted Dr. Baird, my therapist, enough to my outside therapist before and after this, but I haven't spoken to him in years now. Enough to really talk, but this place is making everything so much worse. The letter on why you're here, why you're there has to be has to be read out loud in front of everyone, and they force you to share your thoughts. They don't even give you privacy in the bathroom. I haven't peed all day because they make you talk to them, and I can't go while talking. We messed around with the horses today, but we never got to ride them. We just picked up their poo in a hot field for a long time. There are no showers either, since the counselors have to be able to... there are no showers either. Since the counselors have to be able to hear every single conversation, I can't spill my thoughts to everyone, and they read everything you write in your journal, so I can't get my thoughts out. They keep promising I'd see the therapist today, but it's well after lunch and still nothing. When I got here, they acted like this place was all fun and games, but it's not. As soon as you guys left, they put me in a cabin where all the counselors are hostile, and if we don't make their impossible time frames, we can't talk. The estimated days are 42 to 70, and everyone that isn't new has been here at least 80. The work you need to do to leave is impossible, and they always say you did it wrong, which that was a thing that I went through a lot at that place. I would write something down on paper, and then they would want me to redo the entire thing because I'd written just one portion slightly unclearly. So eventually I wound up speaking to the therapist and essentially demanding that they allow me to just verbally tell them what the stupid thing is so I don't have to rewrite it every single time, because that did happen. And every time they made me rewrite it, I'd be done with it in like 2 minutes, and they'd be so busy that they couldn't come check on it for another half an hour. Every single time. So I got really fed up with that really fast. At this rate, it's going to cut well into school, which I actually enjoyed. And I didn't think I could handle being the weird kid who shows up halfway through the semester. I just want to be a normal junior, come back to school rested and ready, and not have to play catch-up forever. But this place is stressing me out to where I'll never be ready for school in time. Please, please come save me. I know this isn't what you signed me up for, I just want to go home. I've been crying writing this, it's been forever since I've been this upset. I don't trust or know anyone here enough to talk to either. But I do Dr. Baird. They won't let me call him either. This place is setting me back progress-wise horribly, and I feel like it's going to push me back into that pit I've spent so long crawling out of. I just miss everyone. I don't get why I said home was so horrible. Please come save me. I mean, do I look better from this letter? I just want to go home and to the movies with you guys, and the water park, and the lake house, and sleep in a bed where... Bed was underlined. I can move my feet and have privacy and enjoy my summer instead of sitting around here crying and shaking and feeling horrible. I used to call Rose mom in German, which was Mutti. Please, Mutti, I need you. Love, Danny. P.S. Please, 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 please take me seriously. I'm not over-exaggerating or anything. If you don't believe me, just come see me. I'll bet anything I'll cry and look like a mess, and be a mess. Please, you're the only one, and Adenrine, I think, really cares about me. You gotta help me, please. And that was the letter that I wrote my first week there, which this was a couple of days in. So then... now on to the second letter. So, still to Rose's email. The date is a question mark now. Full name as usual, team is still Charlie, therapist still Ashley, and then the instructors, this time we have, Jess, Becca, and Sammy specifically listed. So now I'm sick. I threw up twice today on an empty stomach. I don't honestly think you guys will really care, but coming home for a few days to get better instead of laying on the ground in a pile of leaves I think would be beneficial. Anyway, I wanted to elaborate on what I mentioned about school. I am perfectly willing to waste time here next summer and finish up if that's necessary. I just don't want to miss any of Ryan's first year, which is my brother, and he was going to be a freshman this year, and I missed it. All of it. And he blamed me. And the last one with 2 close friends. I promised Ryan I'd walk him to all of his classes on the first day. I kinda hate breaking promises. As a side note, I really dislike that I have been tricked into coming here. I felt I was trying hard to build back up our relationship and that neither of you want that. I am terrified that you will send me to a boarding school as well, which is where I figured out about where I'd go next. I just didn't know exactly where yet, but I started to realize I was going somewhere else for a lot longer. Coming to a place like this was my worst nightmare, now boarding school is, but hey, I guess you guys seem to want to make me cry, so whatever. It's just my opinion. So I'd love to be pulled out for school, and I'm willing to finish up here next summer. I wish not to go to a boarding school, and am sick with a fever and throwing up. Danny. P.S. Sorry this letter is both short and blunt. I think I'm going to throw up again, so. Then I have another one, same email, still a question mark, everything else is the same. You know, I was trying to be closer to you. I was finally starting to come around. Dad, the gender things and the way you handle it is that big of a deal. And Mom, I was totally having fun with you. You just tend to be a bit argumentative sometimes, so I try to avoid those situations. I'm going to work hard here. I just want to ask for a few things. One, I'm going to try to get to Phase 6, but I would really love it if I could be pulled even the day before school. I just really want to have the full last year with my friends Shelby and Nicole. I also would be really happy if you could send a letter to Thomas for me. I'm positive he's worried. P.S. Send song lyrics, please, because at that point I couldn't remember the lyrics to most songs, and I like to sing, so I just wanted something to do. Thomas. Hopefully my parents give this to you. I miss you so much. It already feels like I've been here years. I'm trying to get out of here before school starts. ASAP. I am totally gonna cry writing this. Tell Shannon I say hi, whom I don't remember. You'd better have been hanging out with her. This place is way more hardcore therapy than I expected. We can't talk unless a counselor can hear, and I have to stay within arm's length of them until my therapist decides I'm chill. I really don't think that she likes me. You should have seen her. She snapped at me when I mentioned Libby. You can't have Libby. You've already been told that. I cried right then, of course. You've seen. She's like a child to me. Anyway, the group itself is pretty fun. This one person, gender fluid, called Harley talked to me when I was freaking out the first night. I really trust them now, and everyone else is pretty nice, if immature. It's quite funny how open we are about our bodily functions. The amount of fart-themed conversations I've had is hilarious. We're on Expo now, 2-week camping trip, but this should still be sent out in a few days. Ugh, I just want to shower. But that's almost 2 full weeks away. We rarely get them. Not fun. I can hardly believe I was tricked into coming here. I break down daily, so a letter from you and the pack would be wonderful. How is everyone? Is Ange still quiet? If not, please get her to write me too. Shannon too. I wish I could have FaceTimed you longer. I regret hanging up at all the night before I left. Have I missed anything? Have my folks tried to contact you? How's being out of the closet? What's going on in the outside world? I love you and all the pack members. I think I might understand what it's like now for a parent to be away from their children. Tell them I love them, alright? And we really just were that close of friends, all of us. And don't you dare forget it. I miss you. Danny. If he or any of my other friends write me back, I'd love to hear their replies, of course. Please say yes to the school thing. I'll work hard, but it means a lot to me. Thanks. Waiting for letter 3 to load up. It's all in an email file. So, same email, which I'm still not gonna read. Although, if y'all want to go harass her, please do. Just figure out who she is on your own so she can't blame me, because she'll probably start a lawsuit. The date is now July 4th, 2017. One of my favorite holidays. Same full name that I'm not going to tell you, because dead name. Still Charlie, still Ashley, still Jess, Becca, and Sammy. Yo, so I'm gonna be dead serious this entire letter, just so you know. Nothing is exaggerated or played up or down. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So, to me, Thomas is family just as much as you are. I miss you, all of you, and they told me that I couldn't send the letter to Thomas. I miss all of you, and make sure you tell Ryan I say hi and that I liked his letter. To be completely honest, I feel pushed out and lied to being sent here. I feel that I was told that this place would be a fun learning experience, and now I feel like my life is spiraling all over again. The looming threat of boarding school terrifies me beyond anything else, and I feel like so many people go there from here that I'm doomed. Answering your questions now. Expo is honestly terrifying. I have not been 100% healthy since we left. It's only beautiful when I'm not horribly winded and we stop somewhere pretty, which is rare. Otherwise, my view consists of the loo hole, which is a hole in the ground in which we do our business. There's never enough toilet paper. The group is chill. The conversations just got so heavy so fast when I'd rather laugh about something. I'm only phase 2 and terrified to do work as I keep hoping that if you go fat as I keep hearing that if you go fast you go to the boarding school, which evidently correct. And I don't know what an acceptable amount of time is. At the moment, I am off buddy, which means I can get out of arm's length from staff and that I can sleep in a tent now. This place is quite honestly terrifying, and I feel like the high success rate is due to scaring us all so badly that we don't want to come back, which is exactly what those places are doing. I was spot on. I would prefer it if you could find somewhere not outside and move me there. Being wet is only fun when you actually have some way of getting dry, which we don't at all. If there was a guarantee of going home after this, I think I would be alright, but there isn't. And I know you will do it. I think that's do it again. Oh, dodge it again. Because they hadn't been answering me at all, one way or another, about whether or not I was going to a boarding school after. To the topic, I mean. I feel like this is all a gigantic ruse to put me out, and that I really am doomed to boarding school because you don't want me around. I'm making this giant list of things to do. It's titled If I Go Home. I'll send it to you if I ever get that guarantee. Also, fair warning, I'm totally not showering once I hit Phase 6, so you'll have to deal with what I've been. Payback. I did put a face with a tongue sticking out there. I don't know if they put that in. I wasn't sure if they typed it or if they just photocopied the letters. They just photocopied them. So yeah, I'll hear from you next week. I'd like it if you would make a list of every movie that comes out and star the ones you'd see again so I can catch up. Your terrified son, Daniel. Which this is where I stopped signing it as a name that they more approved of. Because I will tell you, Daniel is my trans name, not what my given name is, and it pissed them off. So this is the 4th letter. At this point it just says to mum, date ? My full name, Team Charlie, Therapist Ashley, Instructors Devora, Kia, and Tyler. And I think there was more than just those 3. Hey, I'm taking the week or maybe a while off letters because I feel like I've been getting 0% compassion or empathy in any of them that you and Dad send. I was wondering if you could tell me the date of my birth control expires and please get me a new ring. I was on a type of birth control that involves a ring that you put up your, to stop my periods because I had endometriosis. Which is basically very, 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 very incapacitatingly painful periods. And they still suck. I was also wondering if you could please send Ashley that big book I'm reading, Empire of Storms, I think, and my coloring book and markers from Dad's house. The book is at your house. I do have to do a direct feelings letter to phase up, or at least that's my understanding, so I'm bust-a-fab. I am feeling unloved about yours and Dad's letters because they have been entirely business and unrelated mental stuff. I'm also feeling confused about being at this place because I feel like I am here based off far past issues, and everyone else here is a complete mess, and it honestly scares me. I can see how my past actions could warrant this placement and that you could be scared. I also think that you are reading far into the past to find these reasons, so that's what I'm thinking. Daniel. Oh, I guess at this point I start putting the day number instead of the date, so I've got to Mom and Dad, day 30, so I've been here a month now. My full name, Team Charlie, Therapist Ashley, Instructors, Kia, Tabitha, Tyler, and Devorah. Mom and Dad. Okay, so the plan was initially to not ever mention anything cool or fun that happened here until I walked through the front door, but it has occurred to me that that might not happen for a long time. So, this is that letter. So, from the beginning. Our fourth, I think, day on Expo, we hiked Debo, Devil's Elbow, which literally puts you smack on top of the mountain. It was after we reached the top and were sitting around catching our breath that Becca, staff, gave me my Phase 2 book. I worked for 2 weeks on it, and upon reaching Sky Valley, I did my 10-minute fire. So I suppose in the last letter I had the timeline a little bit off on that. I guess Phase 2 is where you start to do fire-related stuff, and Phase 3 is where bow drilling starts. I thought I might have been a little bit far off with that. I did my 10-minute fire. I will explain in the next letter if you guys want. It was epic. Everyone counted down the last 10 seconds and everything. In the week at Sky Valley, we go to Science Steve's 3 times. He's freaking awesome. He has a ton of snakes and fish and reptiles, and in his classes we talked all about space. If I go home from here, I want to show you guys some videos and study space stuff more. My favorite meal here is peanut butter on tortillas with, I never get any, honey. Apparently, on the ISS, there's a typical lunch. That's a typical lunch. It would be great if you guys could send me the lyrics to Space Oddity in your next letter. I've had it stuck in my head, but I only know the first bit. I like that song. We keep debating the meaning. Another student thinks it's about Tom getting lost in space, but I think it's about an astronaut who falls in love with space's beauty and doesn't want to go back to Earth again. I've been reading 2 great books. One is Ender's Game, finally lol, which I'll probably have you guys send me the next books. You get them at Phase 3. I'm nearly eligible. At Phase 3, you're allowed to request books that are not already just there. And Star Trek. I forget which book, but I love it so much. It's back at Science Steve's till next month, unfortunately, though. He doesn't like his books on Expo, which I totally get. Expo tends to destroy things with all the rain and no decent shelter. I'm gonna end this letter before I go on for years. Ask me questions. I want to have happier topics. And yes, I read your letters. I feel like trying to respond to them will darken the mood, and I really don't want to re-kill our relationship. I love you guys. And then the If I Go Home list, which was marathon the Hunger Games with Dad. Go to Navy Pier with Mom and eat a bunch of ice cream and candy. Go everywhere downtown with Mom. Bake everything ever with Mom. Finish Supernatural. Eat a whole thing of frosting. Marathon Harry Potter with Mom. Sleep with Ellie. Give Dash 100 treats in one day, which is my cat. Go back to the farmer's market and get every flavor honey because I really liked it. Start digging a carp pond out. Hug Nicole, which was one of my best friends. Get tacos, stay in bed a whole day, drink raspberry tea, eat guacamole, go to that cupcake place in the city, surf somewhere, watch The Little Mermaid and all princess movies, because at that point I was just... You're considered wilder crazy after 70 days, but I think I went wilder crazy after 30. Go skating, go to Dunkin' Donuts and get everything that looks good. Get Pizza Hut and Domino's and pick a favorite. Have Mom cook. Ask Mom to wake me up by singing like she used to, which, again, going crazy because she cannot sing. She can't carry a tune, she can't sing, she doesn't sound good. I'm starting to lose it. I'm going to sort of get more comfortable because at this point I'm going to be on this for a while. Now you get to see a different angle of my room. Go to Rhode Island, which is where my aunt used to live, and she was one of my favorite people in the whole world. Watch Steven Universe every episode. Get every fast food I can think of and pig out. Cup noodles. Go to Wilton's, which is a type of baking store, and buy a bunch of cool stuff and use it with Mom. Get my guppies to good homes, which I was breeding guppies at that point, and they did not ever separate them. Guppies are the rabbits of the fish world. I had some very inbred guppies. Let me see. Always play music. Always. Watch Zootopia on the flight home, shower at home, say Nico Nico Ni till Ryan goes crazy, which I know that whole thing. Sorry, not sorry. Take Ellie, my dog, everywhere. Sing the Steven Universe theme till it's stuck in everyone's head. Finally take that painting class with Shelby. Gotham. Go to Harvest House with everyone, which was my favorite restaurant, and if anybody's in the Chicago area, please Google it and go there. It's amazing. And I'm actually friends with the owner, not that I think I could get you a discount, but like, if I could, I would. But it's fucking worth it. Where did it go? Eat a whole jar of Nutella. Rainbow Wi-Fi, which is a joke about, I used to make rainbow cookies, but when you cut the first little slice off, it turns into more of a Wi-Fi signal shape. So we started calling it Rainbow Wi-Fi and then Gay Wi-Fi, which always really bothered the parents that we called it anything gay and it was positive. Acquire and consume many snickerdoodles. Avatar with Ryan. Rewatch Dead Poet Society with Mom. Panera with Mom. Buy and eat everything good looking at Joel's Bakery aisle. Disneyland and Universal. 24 hours of gaming with Ryan. Buy every good candy from Walmart. And that was the end of it, and I signed that one. And then I wrote another letter, which all of the same stuff at the top. Mom and Dad. So I need to do another letter to Phase Up. This topic is what I need / can give. I am open to suggestions, but I feel like I'm already giving my all. As always, I'll bring a willingness to listen and compromise, and I'm already trying hard to fix our relationship. I try to hang with both of you and avoid arguments. What I feel like I need from you guys is some compassion. Mom, I know you don't try to, but we argue a lot. And I'm not ever trying to start one. Dad, I feel like it's been a long time since you did random small things like you used to. Like joining me to watch whatever I was, or wanting to go out to eat. It comes across on my end like you don't care, even though I know you do. That's pretty much what I've got for this. I know I don't say it much, but I love you both. I really do. And now I'm signing it Danny again. P.S. Totally had a tick in my hair. Am now slightly scared of low-hanging branches. Lol. Which I did indeed find a tick right here on my head by scratching my head, realizing there was a bump, and trying to scratch at the bump, realizing it came up a little bit, going to see a staff, and they pulled a frickin' tick off my head, which was lovely. Downloading file, opening it up. So, heading to Mom and Dad, date day 36. My full name, Team Charlie, therapist Ashley, instructors Becca, Samley, Jess, and Cole. And Cole was super cool. She actually wound up pregnant while she was working there. Like, she didn't get pregnant there, but I felt really bad for her having to work like that. Especially considering this is not an easy job. She was one of our expo staff. And this is where I start writing tiny. Tiny. Because you only get 5 pieces of paper, and you have a limited amount of time, So writing smaller was both more time effective and more. This is where I'd like my phone. Yes, it flipped. Oh, I love you, phone. I locked the screen rotation and I don't know how to unlock it now because I'm used to iPhones and I'm new at Samsung. So anyway, Mom and Dad. Yes, I am on Phase 3 now. I've completed 11 out of 12 pieces of phase work, so almost Phase 4. I just have to do LOD stuff, Leader of the Day, and make a fire bow. I am LOD tomorrow, so I don't want to take long. So this won't take long. So for a 10-minute fire, you have to catch on charcloth by striking iron against a quartz rock. Once you've done that, you have to blow up a tinder bundle using the lit charcloth. Basically, just blow on it until it ignites. Yesterday, I actually managed to burn my face doing that, lol. So, once you've done that, you just have to feed the fire and blow on it until the flames are knee-high. Then a staff times you. Time restarts if the flames shrink for 10 minutes. Mine was epic. One of my friends just happened to know how much time I had left at 10 seconds, so they counted down. It was so much fun. Now they call me Dan the Fire Feather Man, which I went through Dan the Feather Man because I went crazy and started tying feathers in my hair. Then I was Dan the Fire Feather Man, then I turned into Dan the Fireman, then I was just the Fire Wizard. Dan the Feather Man did follow me a lot, though. Every time I've had an Instagram account discovered by another group member, they've usually started out the conversation with Dan the Feather Man! So, it's still a nickname. I've been to the cabin part of Trails twice now. We stay on base for about a week and get the best sleep because we actually have a mattress, which is this thick, I might mention. But that was an exciting amount of thickness for something we were sleeping on at that point, considering usually it was the floor of a tent, and however thick our sleeping bag is. Other than that, it's mostly downtime, so we kill a lot of phase work. The last 2 times on base, we had a staff named Devora. We call her Devora Bear because if you don't keep your pack neat, she'll chuck it off the deck at night. And she goes, "The Devora Bear is hungry" before it. It's really funny if it's not your pack. Actually, we don't see much wildlife at all. We hear a lot of birds, but besides us and them, there's not many animals. Sorry if this skips around a bunch, by the way. I want to answer everything well. It feels like our letters were getting similar to our communication at home, which is quite argumentative and the reason I feel our relationship is a bit broken. Me being sent here is proof enough. By the way, I'm not going to do separate happy and serious letters, and I hope I'm going to do separate happy and serious letters, and I hope you'll do the same, so that I can stop dreading letter day so much. I was actually very happy reading this letter, so it's working so far. Yay! So, on phase 3, so I'm on at phase 3, I'm waiting for breakfast, lol. JK, well, I am, but that's not phase work. I'm currently creating a fire bow set that I'll show you in the next round of photos, fingers crossed. Which we did occasionally send photos, and it was a very interesting thing where if you refused to smile, they would not send your photos, I realize. Because they have no photos for my first couple of weeks, but they do have photos from the rest of everywhere by the time that I realized you had to act brainwashed in order to get out, if you weren't actually brainwashed. To be completely honest, my goal has been to leave ASAP. I miss you all too much. I did learn something, though. Apparently, I'm really funny, and when I put my mind to something, I'm very efficient. Everyone says I'm blowing through these phases, and Ashley says I'm making good progress, so I don't know how our relationship, there was a period there. So I don't really know how our relationship got broken. I think we all just took me being a teen too seriously, and I let it escalate. I feel like my part in fixing it is to be more mature, says the 16-year-old, who is supposed to be a child, and already was too mature for my age. So yeah, my childhood ended at around 13. and to go home from here so I can let you in and let you be my mom and dad, not semi-friends that feed me. Yes, I know home isn't guaranteed from here. I operate under the assumption I'm going to the boarding school, so if I'm right, it's less of a slap, and if I'm wrong, it's a celebration. I actually have some plans for my grad day if I do go home. And one thing I would like to say right now, in case I go home, is that I don't want to have a long grad. Which you had the option of graduating and essentially staying over for one night and then leaving the next day, or you could do like this group graduation thing where a whole bunch of you, like families and students, stay in the same house for like 5 days, and if you do well during those 5 days, you get 2 more. Which is basically just a how long can you stall before you have to go somewhere worse? Uh, uh, yeah, I want to show you around and show off lol, but I want to leave fast. So you asked what else I need besides compassion. Well, the lack of this is on me, but I need a mom and dad. I love you both, Danny. P.S. If I go home, uh, make them happen, lol, I have so many plans. P.P.S. That song is so beautiful, sad, and happy, isn't it? Can you send me a bunch of songs? Memory from Cats would be nice. I actually have a request to sing it. Could you also send me the next book in the Ender's Game series? It's called, page 2, Speaker for the Dead. Dun dun dun. Also, I have my markers and coloring book from Dad's house. Please, can I have them now? Or also, could I have my markers and coloring book from Dad's house, please? I can have them now. Ask Ashley. PPPS, the amount of times we pee here in a day is ridiculous, dies laughing. PPPPS, I know a ton of great riddles now, and send me more. I'll solve them, then stump everyone else. Mwahaha. PPPPPS, bye now. I love you to the moon and back. I hope I see you really soon. So then there's another letter, which I wrote the next day, so day 37. All of the same info at the top. Mom and Dad. So this is the serious letter I was talking about. I really hope you read the other one first, and again, I'd like separate responses to both letters if possible so I can appreciate the good, you know? So, I'd like to VOP. I forget what that stands for, but I'll guide you through it, one step at a time. So, first we bust a fab. Feeling about because. I'll start, because I called the VOP. I'm feeling uncomfortable about my placement at Trails because this is not the place in which I feel I can get work done. As I feel I need to be more, or as I feel you need to be more involved with me than weekly letters allow. I'd like both of you to respond with fabs on the same topic, but from your perspective. Next later day, we'll do the next step. Thank you, I love you, Danny. My phone scrolled up. Where is it? That one. So I'm on 7. So, heading. Dad and Mom. Day 43. My full name. Charlie, Ashley, Becca, Sammy, Jess, Cole. Okay, some tiny letter writing time. Now it's impossibly small, and it just gonna keep going smaller. Dad, thank you for your perspective. I do not understand the need for anger management. The refusal, school is not required, I talked with Ashley, is merely because I wish to keep my value of summers for being fun, which was my excuse I was using for being too pissed off at Teacher Dave to actually want to do anything there. Which is why you don't piss me off. I'm very stubborn, and now it's taken me until day 43 to even talk about it. The expo issue was because it sucks. I did not wish to go and stated that. The stick was because I'm used to hospital staff who tend to attack you with needles when you don't comply. Basically, I tried not to go on expo, so I just kind of stood outside of the car a little ways away and waited for them to realize that I was not getting in the car, and then threatened to whack anybody with my big hiking stick that came closer, and I really genuinely would have if Becca had not somehow talked me down. Either way, I'm now on Expo. Ashley even said she's proud that I pulled myself out of that mind frame. Now to continue the VOP. We both take ownership for our part in the conflict. I take ownership for having done a lot of very concerning things in the past, and the fact that these actions affected more than just me, even people outside of our family. Now you. Thank you, Danny. And then to Mom Rose I sent a separate serious letter, which is on the same page, but, separate. So, short, serious letter. Yay. Also, probably read Dad's, so, Teacher Dave is kinda mean and no one really likes him. The way I write, he just won't accept, so I've given up, and I do not wish to spend my summer rewriting the same essay 20 more times, and it's still never be satisfactory. I will, however, take extra classes this year if I come home. I also simply wish to keep my value of summers for being fun. I love you lots. Danny. And then this. Wish me luck. I've done this to myself. So, same heading and everything else. Mom and Dad. Greeting from Cloudsville. When I send this, I won't be here anymore, but I figured I'd say that while I had the chance. We are currently living in the clouds. We have a crazy view down the trail, and the only reason I know they're clouds, we have a crazy view down the trail is the only reason I know they're clouds. I wish you guys could see it. When we first did, we were all dying from the uphill hike. I've been told by staff that my pack weighs roughly 45 pounds, which it got a lot heavier. We rounded the corner and the trees just dropped off, and out over this cliff we could see for miles. And the campsite we hiked to was shrouded in clouds, which it turns out, there we go. No, which as it turns out, just look like fog when you're hiking through it. So right this moment we are doing a glow gear layout. Basically we sit 15 feet away from each other and take out everything, and I mean everything, out of our packs to take inventory and check for contraband. I'm more concerned with dinner and getting my fire bow signed off. Lol. I keep thinking about my grad day. Makes me want to cry thinking it could be so long. According to the others, I'm pretty much done with the hardest and longest phase. Gods, I have so many plans for us. Hey Dad, can we go back to Colorado? I'm braver now than I was, and I can totally get a fire going in that fireplace now. Mom, we're gonna take more of those cake decorating classes, right? It's one of the things I've missed. I know going home isn't guaranteed, and I probably shouldn't talk like I will, but I want you to know what's going through my head. Now I'm crying. Anyway, can I request that you see if you can bring Ellie to grad? I miss her. Something. She's not guaranteed like you guys. Be prepared, by the way, I'm tackle hugging you. Also, we are totally taking a camping trip after this. I need my revenge. Mwahaha. Okay, funny story time. Getting down from that site, I walked off a cliff. I'm alright, of course. I was just going after some old man's beard and didn't realize the ground didn't continue. I had my pack on too. and had to be dragged back up. We still laugh about it. So, yeah, that's just blatant disregard for my safety. Considering a staff let me almost fall off a cliff, and I'm not exaggerating when I say cliff. I make it funny in this, but with how high up we were, it would have been like more than 1,000 foot drop. I would have been dead. I would have been dead on impact. and I would not be in one piece. I genuinely could have died. My legs were over the edge. The only thing that saved me was my pack got stuck in a bush. So yeah. I was almost another casualty of trails. Also, I would love to get pics of, like, everything. I got the something day pictures, and even used them as a bookmark so I can see you all the time. I've also taken to double checking, the parent day pictures. They have the parents come here and do, like, or go there and do, like, the very, very simplified and not terrifying or uncomfortable versions of some of the stuff that we do. So, like, they got to sit on chairs and try to strike and start a fire, which we never once got chairs. I've also taken to double checking Mark Watney's math. It's on point wall. Which that was I was reading The Martian and I was doing very, very simple equations to see if I could figure out how the main character had gotten to the answer. Okay, list time again. Charlie funny quotes. Here we go. Shut up! I'm trying to fix my vagina. Dude, the freaking daddy longlegs here look like almonds with legs. People poop on people, nonchalantly, one of the staff. There's a tree right there. Everyone at some point walks off a cliff. There's a cliff here, guys. That one was me. Crazy voice. Gimme the toes. Sammy, every day, still staff. So, proof that I hate the circumstances and not the place. Drumroll, please. I have decided that I would like to come back here and be a staff. Under 18 years old can come back and mentor the students, and I'd love to do that. I've also added a therapist to my list of possible jobs, so that's about it, I think. I'm gonna do separate letters too, by the way. I love you both. Dan the Featherman. Everything's the same. So I wrote one to Ryan. Broski, I've been great. I've now gone what we call wilder crazy. I wear feathers in my hair, man. I'm Peter Flippin' Pan, Rooster Noise. My Pikmin minions bring me the feathers every day. No fair, by the way, I get up at 6:30 every frickin' day. Like if you cry every time. Okay. Something. I'm helping you with your homework. We're gonna do so much stuff you'll be sick of me. I'll see you real soon, and you better bring me snickerdoodles to grad or I'll eat your face. Want me to bring you a rock or something, by the way? Totally taking requests. Featherman out! Same stuff at the top. Hey Dad, food answer time. Yeah, that's it. I eat like 2 to 3 cups every meal I can. Which is a lie. 2 cups is the max. I'm always hungry. My pea food, sunflower seeds, and pretzels and raisins. I love the raisins. To tide us over. Got some contaminated. Gross, usually rotting and liquidy because we cook everything in a pot. Leftovers. I can eat way less than everyone, or I eat way less than everyone else now, bleh. I hate tuna with a passion. By the way, I love the view around the cabins too. Do you know which cabin you saw? I've stayed in cabins 1 and 7. I love all the horses, and Horse Lady is pretty cool, yeah. I work mostly with Coco, the gigantic one. Or as me and my friend Amanda call him Majesty, because we decided Coco was not nearly a beautiful enough name for this horse. He looked like one of the Knights Chargers from back in medieval times. Just big and beautiful. Everyone else is scared of him, lol. I loved that joke, by the way. Almost didn't realize it was your letter. This feels like how we used to talk. Yay. Thank you for the lyrics, too. I sing our group to sleep sometimes, so I need them, lol. I love you, Danny. P.S. Totally send jokes every week. I love that one. Which, After a while, he started sending me song lyrics, of course, and everybody else caught on that I'm not terrible at singing, which I probably won't ever sing on here, but I don't know, I guess if I get to 1,000 subscribers or something bother me and I might sing something, but, uh, evidently I'm not terrible at singing, even if I think I am, and, um, sorry, dissociating still, so eventually the group started asking me to sing them stuff when we were going to sleep. It turned into one of the, PosiCons. Anyway, Mitty, hi, I got the pics from the parent thing, lol. Dad was hitting the striker with the rock, wasn't he? We all laughed so hard at that, it really did look like he was hitting the striker with the rock, and you're supposed to hit the rock with the striker. I know none of the staff you mentioned, lol, but then again, we tend to have the same staff every new shift. They switched out, and we keep getting, like, the same two groups, but I love them, so I'm not arguing. My second favorite staff is called Tom, and he acts like a little kid. I wound up hating him eventually, because he got mean. He's so funny. Then there's Tyler, who keeps doing funny voices and saying Zoogle, a game in the voice they said Zool in Ghostbusters. Becca is my favorite. She's like a big sister. Honestly, all the staff feel like that after a while. Yes, I did add the planetarium to my list. We should honestly just stay in Chicago for a weekend and go, like, everywhere. Like, everywhere, everywhere. Since we... I don't know why I put an S there. Since we have a huge sweet tooth, I figure you won't mind joining me on my crazy food endeavors. We can stock up, then watch the movies I mentioned and eat lol. You have no idea how much it means to hear you say you're proud. Totally cried a little bit reading that, which I'd not been told that since I was 9, 10, to like 6 or 7 years. I'm so happy and homesick now. Lol. The pics you mentioned didn't show up in the letter, by the way, frowny face. Well, I gotta go, so I love you so with like a whole bunch of bows much. Danny. I'm a totally relearn P.S. I'm a totally relearn Stairway to Heaven on the harp if I go home. Which was like the stupidest possible thing to have me play on the harp. So, 7, this is 8. Sorry, this is probably going to be a little bit of a long video. Either that or I guess I could... I think I'm going to cut this one off here, and then do the rest of them later. So that way I've got... Yeah, because I want to go take a break. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 different letter reading videos. So this one that I've just done, and then hopefully I'll get through the rest of them. I've got 13 letters, so I'm a little bit over halfway done. Which works for me, but I think if I read the rest of them, this is going to end up being like a 2-hour long video, and I don't want to make anybody sit through that. So, as always, feel free to email me. Thank you for watching. Starting to lose hope a little bit on getting anybody else to actually post on the channel, so I guess the channel might die after I share my story, but at least I'll have gotten it out, I guess. It's kind of sad. I was hoping for... Oh well. I've got to be doing some sort of good just by sharing my story, right? So I'm gonna go do what I'm gonna do, and I will come back in a little bit and film more video. So, bye for now.